Welcome to another episode of American Drug Talk, sponsored by Accredited Drug Testing, the nation's leading provider of drug, alcohol, and DNA testing. Now here's your host, the president of Accredited Drug Testing, Jim Greer.
Welcome to another episode of American Drug Talk, sponsored by Accredited Drug Testing. I'm your host, Jim Greer. Today's episode is titled, When You Need a Test, Choose the Best. We're going to talk about accredited drug testing and the services this company provides nationwide. We're also going to provide some information about regulations for employers that do drug testing, both regulated and non-regulated. And we're also going to discuss the different types of drug tests that are available throughout the nation. Today's guest is John Burgos. John is the Vice President of Accredited Drug Testing. John, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. John, as the Vice President of Accredited Drug Testing, of course you're familiar with the services that your company provides nationwide. Could you tell us a little bit about accredited drug testing?
Absolutely. Accredited Drug Testing is a nationwide firm. We specialize in drug, alcohol, and DNA testing on a nationwide level, of course. We also do background checks, and we also offer occupational health testing. So physicals, audiograms, lift tests, so to speak, for certain positions that may require that.
A wide range of services.
Wide range, yes.
Now, the people that need your services, I know they're employers that are doing pre-employments and things of that nature, but tell me who your customer is.
Pretty much anyone and everyone. I mean, we have DOT-regulated employers or regulated employers of safety-sensitive positions that require drug testing by the government. We also
is DOT Department of Transportation?
Yes. DOT, I apologize, is Department of Transportation. It's a federally regulated requirement for all safety-sensitive positions that they have drug testing ongoing in a random program, not only pre-employment and so on and so forth. So it ranges from that to mom and pop, owned convenience stores, to Walgreens, to Walmart, to small, large, medium companies. We even so much as have individuals. Maybe they're going through a legal proceeding, a court case for custody, that contact us for drug testing.
Court-ordered testing.
Absolutely. Then we also have just a regular old, when my kids get to that age, they send their kids to college, and they want to ensure that while they're in college that they are, staying drug-free, based on their beliefs or whatever their agreement they have with their
parents can order drug tests for their children.
Absolutely,
too.
Yes. So it's a wide range of individuals.
So you do employers, but you also do individuals.
Absolutely.
And the individuals could be in a school, you said, like a school program?
Well, school programs. So again, kids going to school, maybe they join a fraternity. Oftentimes we've been getting individuals joining nursing schools. A prerequisite to go into their clinicals is for them to have a drug test. Yes.
Is that for like internships and things like that?
Internships, clinicals, even working with the opioid epidemic that's happening out there.
A lot of things out there about that right now.
Absolutely. So that's a big deal within hospitals, and especially with these nurses having access to the drugs. Nursing homes is another big one. I see. Because a lot of these patients, are older of older age, and they may not remember all the drugs they take, and it's a good opportunity for them to disappear.
So your customer base is employers and individuals and parents and just a wide range of
Just
people.
a wide range, you name it. But we get phone calls all day long with just a wide range of individuals we service.
Now, beside your testing services for drugs and alcohol, and you mentioned DNA testing, and I think you said background checks too.
Yes, we offer background checks, yeah.
I see and understand accredited drug testing does TPA services.
Yes.
What is a TPA service?
Well, a TPA is a third-party administrator. Basically, in layman's terms, what we do is help a company, small, medium, large, from 2 employees to 2,000 employees, implement a drug-free workplace program from start to finish. I mean, you'll have different levels of a company depending on where they're at, in their inception. But you may have a company that say, "Hey, John, I already have a policy. I just want to go ahead and go with your company because you have nationwide."
Just for the testing.
Just for the testing, you have nationwide locations that suits my needs better. And then we'll have some phone calls that say, "I don't have anything. Do it for me from start to finish. I need you guys to help me out with everything." So we take care of the policy for them. We write the policy and send them a questionnaire based and tailor it to their business and what their vision is. We take care of the policy, we take care of the implementing of the random drug testing program if they would like to do that, and also provide them with recommendations, signage, everything entailed to making them a true drug-free workplace.
So a turnkey program.
Absolutely.
From the beginning to end.
Beginning to end.
So the third-party administrator, which is what your company does, they manage the entire drug testing program.
The entire drug testing program. From all they need to do is just come on board, let us know that they want us to go ahead and take care of them, and any question, signage.
Are they able, once they sign up, if they have questions about a drug regulation or a drug testing law or how to handle a situation with an employee, they can call Accredited Drug Testing?
Absolutely. We have, all of our individuals, our employees here, customer service reps, so to speak, can answer all of their questions. But then we do have specific departments tailored to specifics, such as if a company says, hey, I have a question about what's in a standard background check. We have a background check department and specialist that handles those phone calls. If they're a DOT regulated company, Department of Transportation, and they have a question on a new regulation coming out, we have our DOT specialist that obviously will take and handle that phone call. So it's really a one-stop shopping to not only a turnkey program, but all your resources and ongoing information and guidance throughout them operating their business.
Well, that's very good, very impressive. Now, you said that you're a nationwide firm. Tell me about that a little bit. How does someone in Los Angeles schedule a drug test with Accredited Drug Testing?
Well, there's a couple of options. We have our website, accrediteddrugtesting.com. An individual who's well-versed can go on there and simply order directly from their mobile device. From their desktop.
They can schedule a drug test right online?
Absolutely. Simply log in, go to our Express Scheduler if they don't see their specific test there, because we put our top 10, so to speak, but we offer a wide range of testing. They can go to our scheduler, choose the test that they like, enter the donor information, and within minutes they'll receive their donor pass in their email and be able to walk into the facility.
Wow. And how else can someone schedule a test?
Absolutely, great question. The other option is some individuals aren't well versed on the internet or
Right.
with mobile devices.
I'm not crazy about ordering things online.
Absolutely. Simply pick up the phone, call our toll-free 800 number. You'll get one of our friendly customer service representatives. They'll walk you through the entire process, answer any and all questions you may have, and nothing changes. Within 5 minutes, that same donor pass that you would have gotten whether you did it online, you'll get over the phone.
And is that all they need to walk into a testing center?
Yes, that's all they need. It gets emailed directly to them. They can either choose two options at that point. The most common is leaving it directly on their smartphone device and then walking in with a government-issued picture ID. And then the location is able to scan that donor pass, we call it, validate the identity, and then go ahead and collect the specimen at that point. And then the second option would be the older school would be, let's print out the hard copy and bring it in. But either way, they'll be taken care of.
I see. So Accredited Drug Testing can schedule a drug or alcohol or DNA test nationwide, any city in the country?
Any city in the country.
And how is that, John? I mean, I know that there are thousands of cities throughout the United States, but how can Accredited Drug Testing, which is unique. I know that Accredited Drug Testing is known to being able to provide this service in all states. How do we do that?
Well, absolutely. We have several company-owned facilities along with affiliated collection facilities that we utilize in our network to be able to service our clients on a nationwide level.
And how many do you have?
I would say at least about over 5,000 approximately.
5,000 testing centers.
Testing centers nationwide.
That Accredited Drug Testing can schedule a drug or alcohol test at.
Yes.
That's very impressive. Now, when you talk for a moment about the staff at Accredited Drug Testing being trained and certified, is everybody trained and certified at the company?
Absolutely. From the moment you walk in the door, the receptionist you see, all the way to our marketing, department in the back, is all trained and certified to be DOT qualified collectors for drug testing purposes. So we pride ourselves in the fact of that training, and I think that is one of the things that sets us apart, if not the most important for most, if not all, drug testing companies.
Well, that's certainly impressive. Now, I'm aware about the drug testing collection sites. You said over 5,000 nationwide. But when the collection is done and the specimen is sent to the laboratory for analysis, tell me about what SAMHSA certified laboratory means.
Yes, it's an acronym used. It basically stands for Substance Abuse Mental Health Services Administration. That's why they made it an acronym. It's a little long. Imagine saying that 10 times.
That is.
But yes, it's a government certification that a laboratory has to go through. That basically criteria is met for them to be able to conduct regulated testing.
I see.
Regulated testing, just to give a little brief and on that, is Department of Transportation. Is one of the government agencies that requires that. Health and Human Services, or HHS is that acronym, that requires a SAMHSA certified lab. And then the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, or NRC.
That's regulated testing.
All those are the three
people
agencies.
That work in those industries, and I think you said safety-sensitive employees in those positions.
Yeah, safety. They're deemed as safety sensitive based on what they do.
Now, I assume that there are laboratories that analyze drug tests that are not SAMHSA certified.
Correct.
Does Accredited use any of those laboratories, or do you only use SAMHSA certified laboratories?
We only use a SAMHSA certified lab. No matter whether the individual who calls up is a parent that's sending their child to Penn
Get
State,
tested, right?
Yeah, or a government agency that's requesting regulated testing. All of our specimens and all of our clients' specimens are sent to SAMHSA certified labs.
I see. And once a specimen comes out of a laboratory, and it's positive, negative, whatever the case may be, the term MRO, medical review officer, how does that person play a role in the drug test?
So when the specimen goes to the lab will do its analysis, and at that point the initial test result is sent to the medical review officer. That's basically a licensed physician who has been trained and certified to review drug test results.
So they're licensed physicians?
Yes, they have to be a licensed physician that's trained and certified is the key. Just because you're a doctor doesn't mean you can be a medical review officer. But so they're trained to analyze those results that come from the laboratory, review those results, and deem if there is a medical reason why a prescription or a result came back.
If it's positive.
If it is positive, and that's their role. And the difference between us and pretty much every drug testing company out there is we have 4 MROs on staff that work in conjunction with our laboratories to review our results. And all of our medical review officers sign off on every result, whether it's positive or negative.
Do some drug testing companies not have the MROs look at negative results?
Absolutely. There are several drug testing companies that if it's a negative, it just gets signed off, and that is the case.
But not by an MRO.
But not the case. Not the case with accredited drug testing.
So at accredited drug testing, your MROs review every test result.
Every test result.
Not just positive tests.
Correct.
So that provides a level of comfort and confidence to anyone, an employer, a parent, a judge, that this result has been seen by a medical review officer.
Yes, so, correct.
Well, and that's good to know. That's very good to know. When you look at drug testing in the United States, from when it first started in the early 90s, when DOT first started regulating it and so on, of course, we had the economy go down and come up. Where do you see today, 2017, drug and alcohol testing in the United States? Is it on the rise? Are you seeing more and more employers, more and more courts? Where are we as it relates to drug testing in the United States?
Yes, absolutely. The state of the industry right now, in my opinion, and in our company's perspective, is the drug and alcohol testing industry is on a steady incline on the rise. I mean, just based off of between 2015 and 2016, we've experienced a 40% increase in drug test requests just in that calendar year.
Wow, that's pretty incredible. Absolutely. So in 2015 to 16, 40% more business, revenue, tests at your company. And do you see that continuing in 2017?
Absolutely. Right now we're on pace to add, in addition to what we already have, an additional 600 new clients this year.
600.
100.
And when you say a client, you mean companies?
Companies that
Small or big?
two employees to 2,000, that they want our TPA services, as we mentioned earlier, to help them implement a drug-free workplace. And as these continual regulations and new laws are passed, whether it's regulated testing or even the most common that's the buzz right now is medical marijuana. You know, and a lot of companies are calling with a lot of questions with that, and our highly trained staff are able to answer them and guide them in the right direction of saying just because a state like Florida, for instance, passed the medical marijuana last election, it does not hinder an employer from having a drug-free workplace and potentially, you know, terminating someone for testing positive.
Well, you know, it's good that you brought that up because one of our future episodes is going to deal specifically with recreational and medical marijuana and the states that have passed those laws and how it affects an employer's right to be a drug-free workplace. So we're going to have someone who's going to talk to us about that in a future episode. But so your opinion is drug and alcohol testing is on a steady climb?
On a steady increase, yeah.
More and more employers doing it. Just on an average, how many drug tests does accredited drug testing do a month now?
On average, we do about 4,000 tests a month.
4,000 tests, and that includes everything?
That includes the mom and pop, the mother and father who's testing their son, you know, going to college.
Does that include alcohol testing?
It includes alcohol
everything.
as well.
So it's
yeah,
everything.
absolutely.
About 4,000 tests a month. Now, that's 4,000 tests across the entire country. Correct. Because you said you schedule tests everywhere.
Yes.
So those tests come from Alaska to New Mexico to California to Georgia.
South Dakota, Texas,
South Dakota,
absolutely.
to Florida.
Yep.
Do you have a couple states that stand out that you think about that a lot of drug testing is coming from that in the past may not have?
Right now, I foresee, and what we've been seeing, especially partnering with our DOT specialists, is the pipeline. The pipeline states, South Dakota, Montana, moving down through that region, especially with the passing of the pipeline bill. We've seen an increase in that. You know, I also foresee a lot of these bigger states or older states like New York, infrastructure bills that are going to get passed that have been talked about.
Where they're going to build roads.
Absolutely are going to impact drug testing. So I think all these major older cities that have, you know, a diminishing infrastructure is going to highly impact the business in a positive way. And the most important thing, it's going to impact safety for the public, and that's what it's about.
Because when it comes to a drug-free workplace, it's really about safety.
Absolutely,
isn't it?
yes.
You don't want an employee who's under the influence of an illegal drug or has been drinking alcohol prior to coming on the job to drive a truck or work on a road or something of that nature. Now, testing methods out there. What are the common testing methods that can be used to detect drugs?
The most common is urine. That is the most prevalent out there. Shortly or a little bit behind that is hair. Then we have oral saliva. And then we have blood. So those are the four primary testing methods utilized in the drug testing industry right now.
But you said urine's the most common.
Yes, the most prevalent. Still urine to this day.
What is a reason that someone would use a hair test versus a urine test?
Well, the first question we ask individuals, and that when they call in, is, you know, do you want to know what the individual's been doing last week, or do you want to know what they were doing last year? Or sorry, not last year, last month, so to speak. And the reason why I say that is because a urine test typically will look back. A look back period is how far it can detect drugs. Anywhere from 3 to 5 days is the range that it can detect. Whereas a hair follicle test can go back up to 90 days of use.
3 months.
3 months. So, you know, obviously with regulated testing, they don't have that option, even though the rumors and the rules are coming down the pipeline that, in fact, DOT will allow or have a rule for hair testing in the future.
So a private employer who's not regulated by the Department of Transportation, they can decide what type of test they want to administer.
Absolutely.
Arbitrarily, or should they have a policy?
Well, the first question, after I tell them what they want to know, the second question is, do you have a policy?
I see.
And if you don't, then let me send you a questionnaire and we can write one for you.
Because a drug policy is crucial
Absolutely.
to having a successful drug-free workplace.
Absolutely successful. One for, again, safety, making sure everybody knows what they're being tested, what the requirements are of them, and what the consequences are, more importantly for liability for the business.
I see. Because if they terminate someone, they want to make sure they have a policy that explains their drug testing rules and policy. And
have a policy, and most important, that they distributed the policy and said, "Here, sign it, Jim."
Give it to every employee.
Absolutely.
I see. Well, John, this has been very informative, learning about accredited drug testing. As someone who manages a large nationwide drug testing company, what do you see is the biggest challenge in the United States as it relates to drug and alcohol, but also, just in general, what makes accredited drug testing different than other drug testing companies in the United States?
I believe wholeheartedly, to the core of the company and myself, the two most important things is customer service and ongoing education and training of the staff.
That's what makes accredited stand out different.
Absolutely. You can't, in our opinion as a company, we can't provide excellent customer service if we don't have the answers to the questions or could foresee the problems that you may have, whether it's an individual or a company coming to us for a service. So it's that ongoing customer service and an ongoing knowledge that sets us above the rest.
I see. And I assume that's what's contributed to the great success that accredited drug testing has had over the last 2 or 3 years.
Absolutely.
But customer service.
Customer service, yeah.
Customer service is so important. Do you see sometimes in the industry, from your perspective, drug testing companies that customer service is not really an important part of their daily function?
I mean, you would think not, but believe it or not, we've gotten phone calls of individuals that say, "Wow, you just answered the phone." I mean,
right.
You wouldn't think that would be the case. I mean, if a company has a phone and you're selling a
business,
service, you would want to answer it.
Right.
So yeah, customer service is truly lacking. The caring, the doing what's right. I mean, there's some drug testing companies that I've heard, "Oh, we need a hair follicle test? Okay, well, let's just get you a 12 panel because it's the most expensive." Well, that's not the right thing to do.
They may not need a 12 panel.
Exactly.
Right.
So it's about asking those questions. It's about developing the trust and the rapport with an individual. Because drug testing is maybe common to you and I, but to the most common folk out there, they're lost.
They don't know if they need a 5 panel, a 10 panel, or a 12 panel.
They don't even know what is that.
Right.
So
a lot of drug testing companies don't provide that personalized service. And you mentioned education and training. Do you find that a lot of drug testing companies out there have staff that aren't very well versed in the regulations?
I mean, we have phone calls. Just an example, we called one the other day. "Hey, do you all do DOT testing over there?" "What's DOT?" We just say, "Okay, thank you, never mind."
And they're a drug testing company.
Exactly.
Right.
So if you don't know what DOT testing is, I'm not sending one of my clients to you. I'll find another location that is, at least up to par, what I believe is up to par to take care of their needs.
I see. Well, John, I appreciate you coming on our episode today. And the episode, of course, was titled, "When You Need a Test, Choose the Best." It sounds like accredited drug testing is going to continue to grow, which I know both you and I hope happens.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad to hear that customer service is your number one priority there, and certainly as the Vice President, I know you're committed to that. So once again, thanks for coming on today. And thank you for watching another episode of American Drug Talk. Today, our show, of course, was titled, as I said, "When You Need a Test, Choose the Best." If you have any additional questions about the nation's drug or alcohol testing laws or regulations, or if you'd like more information about accredited drug testing, please call us at 1-800-221-4291, or you can email, I believe, John at accrediteddrugtesting.com. I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of American Drug Talk.